now. Okay, so we are live. This is the first of hopefully a few different kinds of shows I'll try to do on this channel. This is Zoom now. Okay, there we go. I just had to make sure we were actually being heard. So anyway, this is the first of hopefully many different shows I hope to do in this format. It's just going to be a simple one-on-one interview. The guest I have tonight is Marson. She is the star of a movie that I saw called Girl Walk All Day. Now, to give you some background on this from my point of view, I saw this, I did a general search on YouTube a few months ago. I was just searching, and I think I had the words girl and walk in my search, and the video came up. It was kind of random. I'd never seen it before. So I watched it. I didn't know what I was watching at first, but I was intrigued. So I watched it a couple more times. The movie itself didn't actually impress me at first. And that's not to say that I didn't like it. I actually liked it. There are a lot of things that I didn't like at first when I first watched them, such as, ironically, anyone who's a fan of my channel, the video game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which the vast majority of my content is of that video game. I didn't like that game when I started it either. So, well, actually I did like the movie. I should say I didn't like Grand Theft Auto. And things grow on me pretty quickly. So there are other things in I'm just not sure what they are. And eventually I just watch them again or play them again and I just get more and more into them. I would say that Girl Walk All Day is for those who have not seen it, is kind of like for those who've ever seen the Koyaanisqatsi or the Baraka series of movies, Ron Frick, a movie without dialogue. The Koyaanisqatsi series started in 1982. Baraka came out in 1992, about 10 years apart from each other. I would say combining that with a very nicely laid out music video. And that's the best way to compare it. And I use Koyaanisqatsi and Baraka as a compliment for Girl Walk All Day, because those are very those are movies that are very highly respected in the movie industry. Now, I don't have all the background for Girl Walk All Day, but from what I've looked at on the internet, it was an indie film. There was a GoFundMe page. I'm sorry, a Kickstarter page, and it cost, if I got it right, about $24,000 to produce this. And what I will do is I'm going to bring on the star of that movie. Her name is Marson, and I would like to welcome her to the stream. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you this evening?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I am fine. I am glad that you were great. You're gracious enough to make your appearance here.
Thank you for having me.
So, for those who are not familiar with, I would venture to guess that the majority of my audience is probably not familiar with you. I would like to go. Yes, I'd actually like to start off by saying we already have one question for you. Believe it or not, this is actually was kind of before we get into this, I'd like to jump into this because before I forget, I made a promo video for you for this interview, and Austin Marchbank left a comment. He asked, does she play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas?
I was pretty tired leading up to our meeting here, and I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna be late. I just want to say that CJ almost made me late. He was late for picking me up.
You'll get a lot of support now from my family. The fact that you know who CJ is. So the what I'd like to know is, what I'd like to start off with is, as far as Girl Walk All Day, was the things I said, were they correct as far as the Kickstarter, and how did you get involved with that? I guess we should start right there.
Well, I got involved because there was this summer where I was taking dance classes in New York. I grew up in New Jersey, very close to New York. So I would take a bus in, and just like take as many classes as I could and then take a bus back to New Jersey. And there was one time I was like, I had just come out of a class, but I had gotten an email from my friend, hey, go to this audition. They're paying the dancers in pizza. And you just put on your favorite song, and you just dance to it in a room by yourself. You get your pizza, and maybe you're gonna end up in this video for like a shoe promotion or something. And then when I went to the screening of this shoe promotion, it was in this square-shaped room, and there was a screen on each wall, and there was a point in this presentation where I was on all 4 of the walls, and I was like, this is really cool. I guess the guy who made this liked my dancing. And then when I spoke to him, he said when he showed his fiance at the time that like he was showing clips of each dancer to her from all these dancers that came for the pizza.
That's what the focal point was, the pizza, right?
What was that?
That's what everyone was there for, just the pizza, right? The movie
Yes.
was the thought.
Yes, he said all levels, all ages, any style, like real open call. When I spoke to him, he said he would show clips from each person's dance routine. It's all freestyle. But when he came to my video, he just had to show her the whole thing. And he said, we need to work together in the future. And, I've been kind of doing entertainment stuff since I was very little. And people say that kind of thing a lot. Whether or not they mean it, it doesn't happen that often. But a couple years later, Jacob Krupnik, the director, he emailed me that he had just heard the soundtrack of this DJ who mashes up all these different genres, like hip hop, rock, oldies, like, experimental, like Aphex Twin, like all kinds of artists. And he said that he wanted to make a dance film to this sound and have this be the soundtrack. And yeah, we made some test footage and we put it on Vimeo, and it got all these kind of like went viral. So he decided to make a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter had a goal to meet $5,000 to make this project. And the project ended up making 5 times that amount, about $25,000. So we were able to shoot really cool things, and it was a blast.
I have is there a way to see the initial video, the test video? From what I saw of this video, it was formed on the ferry, the New York ferry, which was duplicated in the actual movie itself. I saw parts of it. I just wanted to see, for comparison's sake, how much, if anything, had changed, or was. I guess what I'm leading up to is your dancing in the movie versus that. Is it all spontaneous? Is it choreographed? How is that? Did that work out for you, or how did you work that out, I should say?
Yeah. So I do a style when I know it's a project like this called structured freestyle, where I'll pick like my favorite parts of the song where it just sounds like you have to do that during this part of the song, or else, how would you not do that and that? So I'll pick like an expression for a certain part of like a climactic part of the song, and I'll know that I'm gonna do that kind of pose or like those shapes in a certain spot. Like it looks the coolest to do that if I'm standing on this old telephone booth. Like I don't know how I'm gonna get up there, but I know that I'm gonna be there in time to be doing this at that part in the song. So I'll pick like a few different spots of the song, and I don't know what I'll do in between. I'll just let the music tell me. But the structure I have is in picking different positions that the camera can see and different dance moves for
Okay.
those parts.
So as far as the initial test video of the ferry itself, I haven't seen the whole thing yet. I've only seen parts of that. I've seen the entire movie Girl Walk All Day. What I'm curious about is was it radically different, or was it essentially the same? As far do you remember that part of it, creating the initial test footage?
Yeah, the main difference was that for the actual shoot of the film, my hair, I decided I wanted to have this haircut that was like, I guess it's called a bob, where it's like this length, and I wanted bangs. There, the film I already knew was going to be called Girl Walk All Day. So this felt like a little girl's hair, and in the test footage, my hair was here. And I remember there was like a popular dance movie called Step Up, and that there's just like been a lot of movies where there's a Caucasian woman with like this length hair. So I knew I wanted to do something that stood out. So I decided to cut my hair. But there weren't many differences
Okay.
with those
Yeah.
shoots.
The reason I asked because apparently, and I was not able to find much information about the test footage. All I did find out was that it became very popular. And that's what started. That was what launched helped launch the Kickstarter to get you going there and getting the actual movie produced.
I think the clip ended up on Huffington Post, and that was part of what made it take off.
Okay. Now, as far as the movie, the movie itself is divided up into, I think, 11 parts, and 12. You can actually, is it 12? Okay, 12. Mm-hmm. The full video of the movie can be found without any restrictions by going to girlwalkalday.com. As far as YouTube is concerned, though, you can only watch parts of it. The very end has been blocked. And one of the chapters, because it's divided up into all different chapters, one of those chapters has been completely muted. But you can still see it. As the story of it, it's not really a story, but it starts off, it's like a narrative. And it's basically young woman going out and breaking against what does that say? Okay, hold on. You've cat to be kidding me right now. Meow. That was pretty good. So the movie the narrative starts out as basically breaking out from structured conformity, I guess, and then breaking out and doing your own thing. That's what my interpretation was. And is that what you? What's that?
Said hell yeah.
Okay. Now in the at the very beginning, you're doing you're doing a ballet class. For those who have not seen it, it starts off with a standard ballet class. Yes. And the one thing I almost kind of turned it off at first because I wasn't expecting the music to get more lively, and it was just look kind of mundane at first, but that's expected, of course. And you're breaking out from the mundane, and then the motions that you make in that scene where you start to gyrate to the music were just really done well. It's like you were like, it was like you were possessed almost by the music. And so basically from that point forward, it creates a narrative. There are two other characters. You're the girl, correct? Your character is called the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the creep, and then there's the gentleman. And there's another character that comes in, a couple of other minor characters that come in through there, but they don't have names. There's one guy that's kind of muscular, not wearing a shirt, running around. And another woman that where there's a small like standoff routine between you and her after the gentleman accidentally knocks over her drink while she's walking down the street. I don't remember. Those are the only ones, and then there's a lot of other people that could join in. As far as the production, when you were making this, I'm just kind of curious. Did you hear the music as you were actually doing this? How did that work?
Yeah. Oh, there's some echo. There. I don't know if this is on my end, or should I be wearing headphones right now?
Probably a good idea. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not hearing any echo over here, so you. In fact, you sound fine. You sound fine when you're talking. So.
Echo. All right, I don't hear it anymore. We had like one of these, but a bigger one. It was like, let's say here is the cameraman, and I'm dancing in front of the camera guy. The guy with the boombox always needs to stay right behind him.
Okay.
So he doesn't end up in the shot. But there's just some random guy who they would get to run around with a boombox.
Okay, so the
important job.
A boring job, is that what you said?
I said an important job.
An important job, yes, important job. So and that was
or I would have my cell phone playing the music and I put it in my shirt.
Oh, okay. Throughout the progress of the movie, you go through different changes, and I think one of the scenes. I'm sorry, I cannot remember the chapter name. I think it's chapter number 8. I'm going to bring that one up as we're speaking. I think a lot of people like this one the best. It is. Hold on a second while I try to bring this one up. The shopping spree. I've seen a lot of people make comments that is their favorite part of this whole production.
This is my favorite too.
Yeah, let's see if I can bring it up here while hold on a second. Just give me 1 second. Let's see. I have 4 different monitors I have to scan through to bring it up. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. I have the sound muted so we can hear it. So this is the very beginning of the scene. So those who have not seen it, this, as far as this one goes, this is where you show the most, what I say is the most emotion, as far as I can tell, throughout the whole piece. Would you describe, I guess I'd like to know if you could give a description of what you were feeling when you did this.
Yeah, this was probably the most nerve-wracking because it was the most kind of close quarters. We were, I'm kind of like, it's very easy to stick out like a sore thumb because people don't usually dance in a department. I mean, people don't usually dance down the street either, but there was something that felt more like this is a tense environment. So actually was a big part of coming up with this part of the film. I wanted my character to go through some major transformation, so I wasn't just like a giddy dancing girl the whole time. I've also like a large acting and theater background, so I always try to bring in some element of the theatrical when I perform. So this song, it starts with, ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth? Ooh, baby, it's with heaven on. Like, it's a Madonna song. It's really, like, girly. So we hadn't done anything in a department store or, like, with this kind of expression. So we decided to have my character go astray from the values of, just finding happiness like through joy of movement, and have her kind of take a turn towards like only capitalism will get her to that that joy. And I'm not sure what else you'd like me to share about this. Are you still there? I don't hear you.
I'm here. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yes. Let me bring you back into full screen as well. There we go. Yeah, basically, what I'd like to know is how much of that scene and throughout the entire movie as well is actually done where you're just going at random and you know, how is that when you're going through the store, was that all random? I mean, I know there's the part where the guy was doing your makeup and he's actually doing some dance moves as well. Is it random, or is that that doesn't look like it's random? But I mean, is how much of that are the people there just don't know what's going on?
Usually it's like a combination of it. You know, when people are giving you looks like that, you can pretty much tell it's real. um, the thing with the makeup artist dancing, usually if I'm having a conversation with someone for more than a few minutes, the topic of dance comes up and I want to know if they dance or like dance. And he said that he's a raver. So we had to get him doing some raving moves.
And that happens a lot throughout the piece. Like there's also I'm not going to bring it up right away, but if I bring it up at all, but there's the scene where you're in the subway train, and it kind of threw me off guard because I wasn't sure if the people in that were random or not. And then all of a sudden everybody just starts dancing all at once in the subway car. And
that's a secret I will never tell.
And then there's I guess a pole dancer, a guy wearing high heels who's doing his pole dancing in that scene. That kind of threw me off a little too.
New York City.
Now, how long did the actual production actually take? Was that did they pay you in pizza, or was it better this time?
Sometimes. This was a real labor of love. It was probably over 4-ish months, 2 or 3 days a week.
Wow. Wow, I didn't know it. Wow, that's
I don't remember too well though.
I didn't know it took that long to produce that. I mean, is that just what does that include, the editing too, or is that actually the film? What about the filming part? I mean, that's how long did that take? Is that the whole 4 months as well?
That was for the filming, you know, maybe like a couple weeks off sometimes. But it definitely wasn't made in just one day, as the title suggests.
Okay.
Someone at a film festival asked, like, how did you guys do that all in one day?
Well, yeah. The other thing I wanted to ask was the score, or not the score, but the album Girl Walk, which is also available on YouTube. I don't know the person who did that, who produced that. It's obviously the music is, from what I was able to gather, is samples from going back to the 1950s. I had some from the 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up to the 90s. Some songs I'm not familiar with. And basically it was resampling all the music plus adding new lyrics to those songs. So some of them I recognize right away, and other ones I'm like, I don't know this. And then there were new lyrics added to them. At first, my interpretation was, I don't like when people mess with the classics, but then after watching it a few times, I started to respect it more, and it was actually pretty good. Did you have a chance to listen to that ahead of time? How did you to try to decide how you were going to perform, or how did that work?
I had known of the DJ Girl Talk. His real name is Greg Gillis. I had known of his music since high school, and I, listening to the album. The first time I did that was when Jacob sent it to me. I didn't know he was still making albums, and how you mentioned at first about like it wasn't the first playthrough that you liked, GTA San Andreas. I wasn't really finding the dance when listening to the album at first, but it grew on me, and now I love hearing it.
So basically, as far as being able to create the dance, is that something that was mostly you as at that point, as far as the dance moves that were matched, that went up to, with the music? How did that work exactly? Because now I didn't even think about that. As far as, I mean, how much of that was your own, and how much was added by other? I don't even know who else contributed as far as to what you did for yourself. I know there's other people dancing there, but I mean, did anyone else suggest what you should do as far as your dance style, or was it pretty much all you at that point for the whole movie?
The way it went was there was a loose script of different locations, and Jacob would sometimes send us photos of what the environment was going to be like if we hadn't been there before. Because we hit like so many different spots of New York. It's really cool, like back when traveling on a plane was like way more kosher to be doing. Like as we're flying towards the city, like I can look down and like be, oh, we danced there.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But back to your question. So sometimes the scenarios were like, all right, we're going to have like a group of hip hop dancers that Anne runs into. But, we don't know exactly what moves are going to come out. It's more like loosely saying, this is the kind of interaction that's going to happen. Like Anne meets somebody who's gonna invite her on a scooter ride. And we know that in the music, that the music is like getting kind of like almost metal in a way, like, or the lyrics, I forget what song it's sampling, but it's like, do you wanna die? Do you wanna die? And I'm like acting out the lyrics while dancing recklessly on the back of a scooter at a certain point while we're speeding down a highway along the Williamsburg Bridge.
So was that I'm trying to bring that up so people can see that while we're talking.
Yeah.
We don't have to remember what chapter that is, do you?
I want to say 4.
Oh, was it that early on? Okay.
5.
But basically, yeah, that scene, that's the only time where you actually see, if you could call it lyrics, or spoken word, I should say. The person that's on the scooter says stop, and he's like mimicking what's being said.
Stop the party.
Yeah, and there's the only other time you actually hear people speaking is the ballet instructor at the very beginning. But that's very faint. It's more like ambient sound. It's not really part of the narrative there. But how did that feel riding around on a bike like that? I'm still trying to find. Oh, here we go. Finally got it. Yeah. Here we go. I'm about to bring it in here. Nope. Add to stream. There we go.
Do you want to die?
So let me bring this back. I'm going to rewind it a little bit. As far as about here, there's the beginning right there. So how did this feel? I mean, how was this actually? Is this? I mean, what I see that there's some stationary shots, and then mixed in with that, there's a lot of motion. Obviously, someone is riding along with you, capturing that. What are they riding on? What are they?
I'm pretty sure he was on a bicycle.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
For the highway part, he's in the back of a car.
Okay. Okay, they have a really nice steady cam there because it's really there's no vibration or anything. That's really I'm quite impressed with the cam work on that.
I think he had a GoPro on his helmet. This is a
Really?
while ago. Wait,
Let me
that's a
move
good
over.
question. Yeah, I want to know.
The
I think
was
if
that
you shoot wide enough on a GoPro, you can make it look kind of steady.
okay? Okay. The now as far as that the riding on there was were you having was it just pure fun? It looks like you're having pure fun on there. Hold on, let me bring this up here.
Yes. And now I have my own scooter.
I was the riding through traffic. Oh, here's the scene that you were talking about. Let me pause that for a second before we talk. Um, the was there any traffic concerns? I mean, that's not really a relevant question, I guess, but I'm just kind of curious. Were you weren't concerned at all as what I'm basically leading up to?
You just do this.
Now, this is the scene right here, where we had this is the one you were talking about before, correct?
Uh-huh.
Now, these people, these obviously they were brought in. This is not some random situation.
Hmm.
And basically everyone takes turns doing the routine in just a minute here. Yeah, here we go. This is the Williamsburg Bridge, correct?
Hmm.
Okay. And the for those who plays Grand Theft Auto 4, that would be that would be Liberty City. So the it's this one. I did see some behind the scenes footage of this when I was looking through the internet. Um, did see that there was some music being played for this. I saw the person that was holding the like a boom box, and I did see the
Hmm.
I was going. Was this was how much of this was actually? I mean, did everybody that did their own dance was this all? Was there like a group meeting beforehand saying how I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, or was it basically all just all free form at that point?
That was the first time I met this crew. Usually when you have like a dance crew, you're very like used to just like taking turns and going off the top of your head. Like sometimes people have like a power move. Um, I took this from a girl on YouTube, but I know that I like if I really want to impress a crowd, I'll do like this kind of Katniss from Hunger Games bow and arrow thing. Like sometimes people have little combos, almost like a video game, that they know are gonna wow people. I don't know if any of these dancers did that, but it looks pretty freestyle to me.
Yeah, it does. I was just the as far as like, and then you come in at the very end. Let me see if I can jump in, and I'm going to get right there. Up, yeah, there we go. And then you do your routine right there. Oops, there we go. Now, how is there's also at the very end there's a very large group of people. I can't bring that one. I might be able to bring that one up. I can't bring it up on YouTube because it's been blocked. But there's a large group of people where you meet in a park. I'm not sure where the park is. The first scene is you sitting, or there's a guy playing like a saxophone, and you're like dancing around him. Was he random? Was he part, or was he actually part of the actual group, or part of your group there that came in with you?
He was one of us.
One of you, okay. The now, as far as like the reason I'm asking is because there's so many times where you walk up to somebody and you can tell that people are like a little surprised as to what's going on, and other times people are like you can tell they're part of what's going on. And did you get a lot of weird reactions to that when you walked up to them? How did that work out?
In New York City, they're used to a lot of crazy characters. Um, I'd say like the most sort of like standout moment of like really was when I had a big sign on me. This is I guess the end of chapter 10, which might be cut off on YouTube. But if you go to growwalkalday.com, you can find it.
Here we go. Actually, I was able to find it. Here we go. I will bring it up for you so people can see. Here we go.
Yeah, but I had this big sign that said "Dance with me" on it, and I go up to this guy, and he's on his phone, and I wave my hand in front of his phone, and he doesn't even look up. He's like, "Nope, I'm not gonna look up." Like, much less dance with me.
That brings me back to the ferry. With the ferry scene from the actual movie, not the initial test footage, but the ferry scene from the movie. You're dancing through there, and the vast majority of the people that are in there just seem to be like oblivious as to what's going on. Let's see if I can find that one. Okay, I found that to be so funny. It was like, does anyone even see you? It's almost like you were a ghost in that. There's one guy that like you dance right in front of him, and he gives you a little thumbs up, a little smile. But the rest of the people in that scene, I'm trying to bring that up, just like it's like, are they so out of touch with what's going on? They didn't even. It seemed like nothing fazed them, nothing at all. And that was that. Okay, I can't remember which chapter that is. Is that the first chapter? No. Yeah, here we go. Okay, here we go. No, is that it? No.
You're looking for the ferry?
Yeah, which
chapter 2.
Chapter 2. Here we go. I'm bringing it up right now. There we go. Darn it. Just had it too. There we go. Okay, so here we go. You're sitting there and you're lively, and all the people, like the guy sitting like, to the right of in the
I always notice that guy too.
It's like whatever. It's like nothing. It's like nothing. Nobody's being phased. Nobody at all. And there's the guy at the very end there that gives you a little thumbs up in a second here. This is he was the only guy that reacted to it. Did you get it though? As far as like, I would
here, there's another really funny reaction. Like, I go and like kiss this sign that says "free," and there's this guy like chewing gum, like with his whole mouth, like. And it's like he really doesn't see me. I think he doesn't see me. You see this guy?
Oh, right there. Yeah. That's another one. Yeah. I saw. I was like, is that guy even like? Is he even alive? I mean, he's chewing gum. It's like again. I mean, like, if I was sitting there looking, I would probably have my eyes locked onto you, wondering what is going on here. And these people are like just completely oblivious. Is this one take or is this multiple takes? And the reason I'm asking is if it's multiple takes, maybe they already knew you were going to do it ahead of time, so they're like, I'm not going to be phased this time. Or is this like the initial take?
Right. I mean, it is. It has been a while ago, but if we did multiple takes, I'm pretty sure it was like a different group of people, because we wanted that surprise element. But what you're talking about, like this sort of like lifelessness. I was just talking about this with my boyfriend. Like the quote, most people live lives of quiet desperation, or he had heard it, silent despair. Most people live lives of silent despair. Like, it's funny, like seeing these people, like, not even react, but it's also, I find it sad. Like, I think people get so caught up in their grind, that like they don't even have like any brain space for like spontaneity. Like even if it is just a few seconds out of their day, like to have like, someone expressing themselves very joyously, like that's kind of rare right now. I hope that changes. but these people coming up right now, they're almost looking at me with disdain. And it's like this guy on the right here. I don't know if you can make the screen bigger,
Hold
but
on.
he almost looks angry at me for dancing the way I am.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did we pass the scene you're talking about? Do you want me to go back? I'm sorry.
It's just a few seconds ago where making like this movement. If you see a guy in like a gold-ish sweater on the right, I don't know if you can make the screen bigger for that.
I'll make it bigger. Yeah.
He's just like, he looks very grumpy.
There you go. Okay, here we go. Go full screen now. Okay. And it's coming up right after this?
Yeah. Yeah. This guy, do you see who I'm talking about? He's like leaning back with his arms crossed. And
and to the right. He's to your right, and there's a woman there.
If you can make it full screen.
Okay. I'll do that right now.
You see kind of like his eyebrows look kind of angry.
Yeah, I see it. Was he actually angry at you for doing this?
I didn't really notice it at the time. You kind of need to go into a different headspace when you do this kind of stuff. if you get affected by the people looking at you like that, it makes you want to stop.
Yeah, that's another question I had to ask about. Go ahead and say what you're going to say, and I want to ask you another question about that.
Oh, just that I understand it can be scary to let loose. And we do live in a society where it's hard to find moments where we can really feel free. And I guess what's helped me the most with this kind of theme is like thinking like, what do I have to lose? Like, I'm never gonna see 99.8% of these people ever again. And even if I do, and they're the kind of people that don't appreciate like that, they're not the kind of people I want to have in my life. And we're lucky to be in a day and age where this is becoming more appreciated. I think that's why people love TikTok so much, like people just dancing for the fun of it. And I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this, but I hope that people feel more free to express joy when they feel it. Like if you're listening to a song you really like, even just doing a little, experimenting with, people are going to look at you a little funny, but it's either because they don't know how to be like that themselves. So, everyone wants to feel that. So either they don't know how to, or they know how to, but they're scared to.
It would, as far as you go, I mean, have you ever been scared? Was the first time obviously there had to have been a first time for doing something like this. Were you scared at all?
I at a certain point bought like an 80s style boombox off of Craigslist, and I would go to like this Union Square in New York, like a center of the city. Lots of people just hang out or are commuting, and I would just put on music I liked and danced, and there was nobody filming me for that. That was just me in the boombox. And that was very scary. It can be really helpful to do these kinds of things with friends, I find.
Yeah, strength in numbers.
Yeah. Even just one other person filming you. Having it be a project makes it a lot more motivating. But I believe that people should feel free to including myself. Like sometimes I need to take my own advice, and if like I'm in a grocery store, like nobody's gonna come and hurt me or even tell me to stop. Most of the time, like really most of the time, nobody's gonna tell you to stop.
So how old? I got a couple of questions here. How old were you when you said you first did when you had the boombox? How old were you? I don't. You were obviously it was before any of this.
I was like 19.
19. Oh, okay. So close to the same age you were. How old you were? 21 when when that was made? Is that correct?
Yeah, 20, 21.
Okay. Okay. So about the same age. And as far as like, do you just I assume you're much more comfortable with that nowadays. Is that right?
Um, I mean, like I've been kind of stuck inside for the most part. But if there ever is a time, um, yeah, I've I guess it's kind of like with spicy food. Like, you know, if you eat spicy food, you develop a tolerance. You can keep eating like spicier and spicier.
Uh-huh.
But if you stop eating spicy food, it's almost like you're back at square one. Not quite, but you have to build it back up.
I got you. I got you.
It's like it's not something I've done in a while, so I might have like some dust to brush off. Um, but I remember like all the rewards, so in that way, it's much easier to get back there.
No, no. As far as like you mentioned the grocery store, do you ever just do this on a whim? Like if you're going to the grocery store?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, okay. Now, I would imagine that being a woman, that this might be a little bit easier than seeing a guy doing that, coming close to people. I would think that if a woman's going to be more acceptable, if a guy start dancing close to someone, they would probably get a little more panicky because you get awfully close to some of those people in some of those scenes. And I would imagine if a guy did that, they would probably be a little bit more resistance. You know,
I mean, it depends how you walk up to someone. If you're like, you know, there's like more like kind of like uh, inviting ways, more like welcoming ways. It also depends how your face looks, like
Mhm.
in terms of like, are you like, are you making a funny face? Sometimes people appreciate you like making a funny face. If you look nervous yourself, that can just make it awkward. If you're smiling, like you don't care if they join you or not, but you're inviting them, like that's usually the best way to go, I think.
And do you ever get anyone that was angry at you or upset?
Probably, but I don't keep that in my memory
Okay.
as much as possible.
Now, getting back to the movie itself as a whole, how was it? Uh, like I said, I didn't know about it until this past. I think the summertime is when I found it. So I didn't even know it existed. So how was it initially received? Was it a good reception? How would you gauge that?
Yeah, we showed it. Like I've never seen a movie where people are dancing while they're watching it. Have you?
So that yeah, let's get into that. I don't. Um, Basically, when it was actually premiered, people were actually dancing while the movie was being presented. Right? Is that that's what you're leading up to? Correct?
Yeah, sometimes we wouldn't even like give people chairs.
Yeah, I only saw a brief scene of this. So basically, so everyone who's listening to this knows, is that every time it was presented, was it always like that? People were always dancing. It was like like done instead of like in a standard theater where people just sit down and watch it, they were actually dancing to the movie while it was going on. Is that the way it was for every time?
It's kind of like in the beginning, people are more like, you know, like just doing this. And somebody will start like doing bigger moves. And so the other person will start feeling free to be bigger too, kind of like domino effect.
And the how popular was it when it first came out? I mean, did you get a lot of press?
Um, yeah, the New York Times wrote about it while their Kickstarter was going. Wall Street Journal, yeah, Huffington Post. Um, It was this indie hit. We got accepted into South by Southwest, and the head of the film division, she was there when we had an encore screening of it. She said this, she's not supposed to say this, but that it was her favorite film of that year's film.
You have to pardon my ignorance here. South by Southwest. Could you explain what that is? I'm not sure what that is.
South by Southwest is this really big film, music, and tech festival in Austin, Texas. It's like a week long. It's really cool.
Okay. So, wasn't there something recently where it was nominated or some sort of, it was listed like the top 25 indie films of this century or something to that effect? I can't remember. I read something recently.
Yeah, there's someone at IndieWire.com that loves our movie. He keeps writing about it. Thank you to him. And just random, publications will put it in some like top of the century. It's cool. Like the head of Kickstarter at the time, Yancey. I'm not sure if he's still the head or not. But yeah, Yancey, real cool guy. He said it's going to be a cult classic, and I could see that.
Yes, I could definitely see that. Definitely, very much so. As far as like people that are around you, how did they react to your? Was it a rise to like a level of stardom? How did people around you react to that?
At some of the screenings, it was definitely a taste of what fame must be like. And that was kind of like, I was seeing both sides of that because sometimes people, I would only have time to speak with a person who was really excited about the movie for like 7 seconds. Like, hey, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. And then, there wasn't much time. And that made me sad that there were all these cool people I wasn't really meeting.
And
being able to share your work in like a large way is a real gift.
And so these were all at where you were actually at like when you attended the presentations, correct?
Yeah.
As far as like any kind of notoriety outside of that, as like how were you personally received as far as like what I'm leading up to what this eventually led up to, your appearances in the TV show The Good Wife. But what before I lead up to that, how much of a celebrity status did you achieve at that point? I mean, were you recognized aside from people the gatherings, which would obviously recognize you because they're there to see the movie, but outside of that, how well were you recognized? How high of a status did you achieve?
I'd say maybe the defining moment of what you're saying is like while I was just like casually on the subway and someone being like, "Hun, are you the girl from Girl Walk?" I still had that same haircut I was telling you about at that time. I started changing my hair a lot after that. I think it became harder to recognize me. I'm a real chameleon and shapeshifter. But when I wear the jacket, even in 2019, I was at a comedy festival wearing that jacket because Girl Talk, the DJ, was playing. And I ask him when he's playing, if I'm nearby, if I can come and dance on the stage next to him. He like invites a bunch of people to come dance on the stage with him when he does a set, just to like get everyone else hyped. And sometimes he'll be able to comp me some tickets. So yeah, I was wearing the jacket from the film, which I had gotten at like just a nostalgia shop. thrift shop.
Wait, the jacket you have, hold on, let me so I'm gonna bring this up real quick. Yeah, here we go. It's just a still, I have it paused. Oops, don't want to do that. Oops, I can't bring up, there we go. So that's the jacket you're talking about there, but that's not the jacket you're talking about. Was a different jacket. It just resembled it.
No, I still have that jacket. That's
Oh, you
my
do?
jacket.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. That's actually your jacket. I mean, you actually brought it to the production and everything?
I bought it like a couple years before that. I knew it was way too big for me, but I just love the colors of it. I had to get it. And
And
the director wanted me to be wearing something where it'd really be easy to spot in a crowd. So
that's also become the symbol. I mean, there's a small symbol that shows that jacket. If you do a search on the internet for "Girl Walk All Day," it's a small icon that represents that. It's obviously someone's rendition of that. It's a little circle icon that has that jacket in there.
yeah.
Now,
You never know when you get something from a thrift store if it's gonna become a symbol of a movie.
with the is the jacket, and still I assume you keep it in good shape, right? In case you have to show it
Yeah, I've gotten it dry cleans like at least once.
Now, as far as, now, this is something I wanted to ask earlier, and I don't want to forget this. Was there ever any feeling of fear when you were filming? I'm not sure how safe New York City is. I hate to, you'll have to pardon my ignorance on that, but I know, like, I'm from the DC area, so if we were to go to film something in DC, I would know which areas would be safe and which areas would be unsafe. Did you go into areas that were relatively safe, known to be safe? I assume, or did you
What ways?
what's that?
Safe in what ways?
Well, a friend of mine and I went to Baltimore City one time. We were almost mugged, and fortunately, he has a very loud voice. So he was able to scare the people away. I assume you didn't go into neighborhoods like that.
Um,
I don't know. Maybe you did. I don't know because.
John, the guy who plays the skeleton.
Mhm.
I don't know if the particular spots they went to in Harlem were dangerous. But I think they went into spots it would be more likely to get. But I feel like that doesn't happen so much during the daytime, which is when we were usually filming in the city. I mean, the city's like getting very gentrified, so not to say there aren't dangerous parts, but maybe the most dangerous was in Yankee Stadium because
Oh
I got
yes,
kicked out.
I want to talk about that. Yeah, there's a scene in the movie where you're dancing around, and then the security comes chasing after you, and that was all real, right? And they actually escort you out of the stadium, right?
Hmm.
And let's see if I can find that one. Do you remember what chapter that is by chance?
I think that's 11.
Oh, okay, so it might not be. Let's see if I can. Let's see here. Scanning through. Nope, don't see it. No. Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter. But basically, describing the scene, you're dancing up and down along the stairs between the seats. Then you dance along the. Now you had really good balance in a lot of those scenes. Were you afraid of falling over the side over the railing? Because it looked like you were right up against the railing in some of those scenes. Like you were fast too.
Yeah, I mean, this whole production, it was like playing a video game, but in real life.
Were the people that escorted you out in that scene, were they upset? How did they treat you? Because it was hard to tell. I could tell, like, you were like being escorted off, and then there's a scene where whoever's holding the camera shows you off in the distance, and you're locked out, but they're still inside. How did they treat you, the security people?
So the director was shooting with like a telescopic, like one of those lenses you see at like a sports event where they need to capture far away movement but get a close shot. So the director was pretty far away, but we were just kind of like, I was sitting next to his fiance, and she was on the phone with him, and I was like, I think, you know, I'm gonna go, like I'm gonna go on that little part right there when there's a big, like, you know, like a base hit or something, anything that'll get even a little cheer, I'm just gonna like exaggerate it. So he was just ready to film that, and then I could tell some cops were starting to come after me. The little GTA I've played, it's reminding me of like the cops coming after you. And you know, at a certain point, you know, they got me, and I was like, and there was one guy, you can see him in the film. He's like, "What? Like, she's just having a good time. Like, why are you taking her away?" And I said to the cop, like, "So why are you kicking me out?" And he said, "Because you're scaring the people."
He's scaring the people. It looked like you're rallying them on. It looked like there was, you know, having, well, from what I could see, I couldn't hear that guy say that what he was saying there. It looked like they were just having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, imagine a world where like people could just be more free with their movement. Like, it would be really hard to control masses of people if people didn't care what they looked like. Like, I wonder if the people I was scaring are the people that are like, you know, the 1% and stuff. I don't mean to get like all like starting to turn this political, but I think at a certain point it is.
The and afterwards, I mean, there was there any trouble? That's what I mean. Any aftermath, in the aftermath of that, was there anything that got you into trouble, or was it just like, nope, you have to leave?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not like I'm banned from Yankee Stadium. um, I, yeah, I wasn't able to go back in for the rest of that game.
Now,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. Finish what you're going to say, and I want to lead up to something else.
No, that was pretty much it.
Okay. Oh, now there was what I'm going to talk about is because of your because of this movie, you had a 6-part. You were in 6 episodes of the TV show The Good Wife.
Yeah.
And basically, you played a character named Jennifer, and I was able to sit through and watch all 6 episodes. And basically, to give a summary, you were like the part of the B plot of like the first episode, and maybe the B plot of the 4th episode, but all the other episodes, you were more like just like almost like comedic filler. That's the way it came across to me. Like, you were not the joke was on you, but the joke was, it was like, there are certain scenes where one scene in particular where you're painted all up, and it was like more for a comedic, more for a shock effect, kind of thing. But the first episode that you're in, that was the one that was probably the most prominent one, because you're introduced to the young girl. I don't know the names of the characters. I remember your character's name. That's the only one I remember. So you're introduced, and the young girl doesn't know is having problems with her class, and your character's hired on as a tutor to teach her. Now, how much of that is real, as far as like based on you, or so obviously the dancing, was anything else based on you as far as the character itself?
I'd say the line where so I'm tutoring this girl, and I'm like just like bored to death while I'm tutoring her like science or something, and I see like a group of like a soccer team that's like just Indian dudes, like high school or something, Indian dudes, and they're all wearing the same color. And the line they had me say was, "It's Bollywood. You can't pass up Bollywood." Like, to go and dance. Like, they wanted me to like dance in front of this group of Indian soccer players. And I had just been to India like not more than a year before, and I had made a Bollywood video. So I dance, but I also direct um, and edit videos. So that's another video that I had made, and the producers of The Good Wife saw it. That's how they like initially emailed me, through the email account of that Bollywood video. It's about a hipster and like a like really like enthusiastic Bollywood guy, like kind of opposite characters, like totally like over it and like and yeah,
So I skipped over that part. And I'm glad you brought that up. So the people at the Good Wife, they saw you in that video. I thought it was because of the Girl Walk All Day movie. It was actually for the other video instead? There's another video that you're referring to that I have not brought up. So go a little, explain that a little bit more. So you're saying, did they ever see Girl Walk All Day? Because I guess I missed that altogether. I really thought it was from that one.
they had seen the article that the New York Times wrote about Girl Walk, and then I guess they looked me up online. And that's an advantage of being able to have your work online, that like even a big producer can easily find it.
Okay. So
How
that's
talented you are.
what's that? I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said, and see how talented you are.
The that explains it now. Okay, so they so now the scene itself did they base the Bollywood scene on the other video then? Is that what you're saying? Is that how that worked out because they saw you in that one?
I think they just chose for like the kind of group of people for me to dance in front of, to be Indian guys, because of the Bollywood video I had made. It almost felt like a tip. Was that phrase like a tipping your cap?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not like a huge like this is Anne, but just like a little reference. Aren't there like Easter eggs in these games you're
Right.
doing all the time?
Right.
So,
I get you now. So, but if someone hadn't seen that video, like I didn't even put the two together. So someone like me who I had seen the video, but I didn't even put the two together is not going to catch that reference basically. So it's kind of like an inside reference for people who knew who you were, basically.
yeah, inside jokes are fun.
The
And if other people don't know what it is.
okay. Almost like Andy Kaufman. If you're familiar with Andy Kaufman's career, he was always doing inside jokes. But the as far as like the your production on there, would you consider yourself like at the level to actually tutor somebody, or is that just was that just for the character?
Maybe a few years ago, before all my knowledge of calculus and physics was like, do you need me anymore? Oh, okay, I'm just gonna go. Okay.
And did you have enjoy yourself on there? Or did they how did you as far as the dance moves that you did? I assume they were all yours, or did they work with you to get specific moves out from you?
What?
Did they were those dance moves that you did in the show, were they yours or did they work with you to create them? Is what I meant.
Oh, that was also pretty much freestyle. Sometimes people will be like, "Oh, go jump over there, like go jump on a bed." Like that's a pretty like vague description, but if you've danced like a long time, you know what moves look cool when you're like bouncing up in the air.
Right, and that's what they do in the show. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, like there's a scene where I dance down some stairs, and they told me to like really just like make it even more like getting in people's faces, like not don't be shy.
Mm-hmm. No, the show itself, the only problem that I had with it was the later episodes. I didn't watch the entire show, as far as like all the episodes in between, obviously. I only watched those 6 episodes. I'd never seen the show before. I knew of the show. Now these later episodes, the first four came in like one of the early seasons. The last two episodes you're in were in the later seasons. The problem I had was when you showed up in the later seasons, it was assumed that everyone knew who you were. And the interesting part is that you, like you said, you're a chameleon. I didn't recognize you at first. And you walked onto the screen and I'm like, who is that? It literally took me about 15 seconds to realize it was you because you look so radically different than in the earlier scenes. And I'm thinking to myself, I know what you look like, but I didn't recognize you there. How many people who watch the show are going to know who that is? It seemed to me like there needed to be some sort of correlation to say who you were. I mean, eventually I could, you're standing in front of a camera. You walk over to the main character. I forget the woman's name, and you start talking to her on the bench. And I'm like, and then that's when I started realizing, oh, that's you. It's like, oh, but there was nothing there for me to realize it was you because your look was so radically different, and you
So
were wearing
it's like, oh, here's another like white girl dancing in the streets.
you had that gold
Keep happening in the TV show.
you had that gold dress on, or gold outfit. It wasn't a dress; it was like a gold outfit of some kind.
Catsuit.
What'd you call it?
It's called a catsuit.
Catsuit. Excuse me. Yes. Did you, as far as the outfits and the way you looked in there, was that you, or is that their decision on how you should look?
I brought the gold catsuit. I had dyed my hair also like gold. I had gotten like this kind of Skrillex like buzz on the side, just the side.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was rocking that hair. It's funny because like I had an agent for a while, and when she first met me, we keep coming back to that girl walk haircut. I had that hair, and I also had that hair in the early episodes of The Good Wife. And as much as like all this awesome stuff was happening at the time, I was kind of having issues that I've had. Like I've been working on like getting more, feeling more choice and freedom of. But I've had like issues with depression since I was a teenager. So even while all this cool stuff was going on, I was still like feeling very anxious and like down. And like, especially when you have more eyes on you, that can be intensified. So I was doing this like class that was a lot about self-esteem and like being like the real you. And I had wanted to dye my hair like for a long time. I had tried to in high school and just ruined it. Tried to dye it blue because of the film Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. She has like all these cool hair colors. So I had like, not tried again after that. But in this class, like I decided like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead like and finally do this. I dyed my hair bright pink, like highlighter pink. And it was so much fun. And like after that time, so I dyed my hair that color, and then I met with my agent, who was also the agent of Lena Dunham, who was really big at the time for the show Girls, HBO. I showed up to a meeting with her with this bright pink hair, like thinking she'd be excited, but she was like, it felt like she was looking at me like, what have you done? Like, people will get this like this look, like almost like a cartoon character. And if you try to do something else, people are like, no, like, what are you doing? You're doing something different. And I think that is extremely stifling. Like, I can understand people like latching on to like a character or like something that speaks to them and like, don't change. But I think if somebody's like that, they also don't feel free to change themselves. And I don't think that's very healthy. I think it's way more fun to like feel free to do whatever you want with your hair, or like whatever you're feeling like curious about. Like this, we're talking about expression here a lot, and like in front of other people. It's tough, like in this kind of social media age. Like if you find success with one aspect of yourself, like it's tempting to just keep digging into that. But what if that gets boring? What if you want to just also, keep that, but explore other things as well? And now I'm rambling.
No, no, you're perfectly fine there. Now, as far as acting goes, is that something you would like to pursue or have tried to pursue? Because I didn't see any other major acting roles that you had been in.
Um, like when that stuff happened with getting this opportunity to be in Girl Walk and also being on that awesome TV show, The Good Wife. I felt like if I made my own stuff, that stuff was like opportunities were coming to me, that I didn't really need to go on auditions and stuff. So I basically spent the subsequent years like filming all this stuff. I traveled to a whole bunch of different countries and was dancing in public in different countries. I was meeting people to show me new moves. And I have all this amazing footage, but it's like I have to edit all of it before I think I'll start getting more calls for new jobs. Because I do think I show off like my acting, and I've been singing. Like that was another big thing. Like I got so used to like expressing myself through movement that my voice was like, I kind of like talked like a ventriloquist. Like I can still kind of do it now. Like I just was like really so self-conscious about my voice. And I was like, I'm tired of like being like that. So I had an injury like that was not going away. I was like, all right, I'm going to take this time to take some singing lessons. And I discovered that singing is like dancing with your voice.
And how's that working out for you as far as the singing goes? I mean, have you had any opportunities? Has that worked out in any beneficial ways for you?
It was cool. There was this moment where like when I was first taking lessons, I was at this kind of school in New York, and there were some people like singing more like pop and hip hop, R&B, like some kids like my age. And I saw them just hanging out, and like they're doing like kind of vocal, like ooh, like they're just like going off. And I was like, oh man, I wish I had friends like that were like that. And as soon as I thought that, like, I like an elevator door was closing, but they held it open for me, and I came in, and they started like talking to me, and I ended up going to hang out with them, and I met this like it's kind of like in Girl Walk, like where I just like run into a group of people, and like they just become my tribe for a little bit, except that little bit turned into like some years. And that was a really cool format. We would just like do a bunch of warm-ups together, and then each kid would basically fight for a chance on the microphone. The people that were coming like all the time, like the regulars, they usually got first dibs. But if you were new and like they thought you were cool, they'd like let you in. And I would just go and like sing to a track that I was really feeling at the time, and also loved dancing to. And it's funny because a lot of dancers are afraid to sing, and a lot of singers are afraid to dance. So it was cool. They appreciated that I was like whipping out all these cool moves. Even though my voice wasn't quite strong yet, I just kept going back and getting stronger.
As far as other, what else do you plan on? What else are you trying to achieve with your goals right now? I mean, is there anything else you'd like to promote, as far as what, as far as what's where you hope your career leads you? Any other, are you trying to get in, maybe doing something similar to what you're doing in the productions you've done? Maybe another dance. Would you consider being, I mean, it's being a secondary part in a movie as far as being a dance character, or even being somebody who is like an extra, or like a stunt, like you have a stunt double that stands in for somebody? Like, would you be a person that stands in for somebody that's doing dance moves? Is that something you've ever considered doing, or something like that?
At this point, I'm not really like going after that. If somebody calls me and wants me to do that, and it's like a cool situation, I'm down. Right now, I'm trying to work on having as much freedom as possible with the projects that I've been editing. I told you, like, singing and dancing in public, this web show I've been making. So I'm looking for work that is consistent and flexible enough that I can keep making my show, like editing it and promoting it. So it's like when you are like in audition world, like you kind of like need to throw yourself all in with that. And with this COVID stuff, like I was actually going to start doing that last June. I had come back from a 5-month trip in Brazil, and I was like, I'm gonna move back to Los Angeles, and this time I'm actually gonna go on auditions instead of just staying in my apartment editing all day. And my mom got sick, and a month later she passed away. And I just really wanted to slow down with a lot of things when that happened. And I just really try to take life as organically as possible. I don't like to force things. I want to work hard, but I don't want to I think you get what I'm saying with all this. When the time is right, and blah blah blah.
Right. Well, I was kind of leading up to like when I talked about like a fill-in position, or like, have you ever seen the movie? Was it Splash? No, Splash. Flashdance. Is that what it was? I just know Splash is the American movie.
Splash Dance. I love water parks.
It was what was that movie?
It's Splash Dance, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that, where she's like this in the chair with the water.
Exactly. That's
the one you think is called Splash Dance.
The in that movie, the dancer, from what I remembered, I don't remember all the details. She did not do her own dancing in that movie. She had someone doing that.
See, that's kind of lame to me. I get it, sell more tickets, but I think I said all I need to say about that.
Now, as far as your video production, we didn't really touch on that in the video here, in our what we're doing right now, the discussion. Could you elaborate a little bit on what you're doing with that? Because I don't think the people who are listening might not know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry. I just have some other noise. What did you say?
Could you elaborate a little bit more on the video production that you were talking about? I don't think we touched enough on that earlier.
Yes, I made a Kickstarter myself. I'm the Kickstarter queen. I made a Kickstarter called I Hope and Doesn't Go Missing.
Okay. You hope and Marson doesn't go missing. Well, I forgot the full name of the title of the video. But yes, I have posted a link in the description below that what the YouTube link actually has that in there, so people can actually click on that to see it.
That's right.
And now, as far as your video goes, you call yourself Jag1 Kitten. What can you tell me what that means? Does that have any specific meaning?
I don't think I can tell you. You're just gonna have to watch the show.
Okay.
There might be a clone involved. What?
Yeah, we don't want to give too much away there. So the anything else as far as like that you're in the process of producing that you would like to talk about without giving too much away?
I don't think so. Just watch the show. If you subscribe, you'll see when there's new episodes coming out. It's really like I'm putting like my heart and soul into this show. Like, it's just gonna come out when it comes out.
Now you do have some things you would like to plug here, right? As far as you're doing like Zoom classes, is that right?
Yeah, I'm teaching a weekly Zoom class on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I teach people, like, even like total beginners, never took a dance class in their life. Like, I just want anyone who's interested to feel free to try it out. I'd say, like, you don't need to turn your camera on. I'll ask if I'm gonna record, or like if you're okay with me posting stuff. Like, this isn't a fashion show. This is just like having fun.
And as far as you also, I posted a link to that in the description so people can go see that. How does that work for you? Is that working pretty well? Do you have a lot of people that participate in that?
Let me take a breath before this. I really appreciate the people that come. I could tell that they really want to like get moving more in their lives. I'm a little surprised that more people don't come, seeing as how many people love Girl Walk. Like, you can just see it on their faces while they're watching. Like, they light up. It feels like there's this disconnect that people want. They want it, but they're not. like there's something stopping them, some fear. And I'm just being patient. I have a woman who comes to the class who says she tries something called the butterfly approach, which means like, what happens if you try to go up to a butterfly?
It flies away.
Yes. So you're more likely to have a butterfly fly up to you and land on you. And so I think that kind of image helps me with patience, because I think like this, like it is more fun when there's more people there. It just feels more like a party. But at the same time, sometimes the smaller parties are more fun. But at the same time, if you're wanting to take this class, come. If you're watching this.
Okay. Like I said, the link for that is in the description below, so if anyone's interested. Now, I think I read, either you said this and I heard you say this, or I read this somewhere, that people come up to you and say, "I wish I could dance like that."
Or that they could dance at all.
Yeah, and you're saying, would you care to elaborate on your response to that?
Yeah, when I hear that, I feel like they say, "I wish I could dance like that." Oh, but me, I could never. That's what they say. And I felt that way with singing. You know, I grew up dancing, so it just was kind of like already there. But I felt like, me sing, like, no. And I decided, you know, it's not about like being good. it's about having fun. It's something you enjoy, and even when you suck, you're laughing, you're having a good time. And life is short. And why not spend some time exploring something that you think you might love?
Gotcha. Okay. And what kind of response do you get to that? I mean, what do they say to you? Do they feel more inspired by that, or how does that work?
It depends. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. But I'm working on making them damn thirsty.
No, I can tell you honestly, I'm not a dancer, and I don't want to dance. I just like the movie. I liked your dance movie. I was moved by your dance moves, but personally, I don't have any desire to learn how to dance. I think the last dance I went to was some high school dance when I was 14 years old, many years ago, and that's it. That's so for me. It's like it's not a big deal. I found that interesting that so many people approach you with that, with the idea that I want to learn I'm really inspired by your dancing. And I like to do it myself. Is that a common thing? Do you get other comments like me, people saying, no, I don't really care about the dancing so much. I'm just impressed by what you've done, or impressed by the movie, or other things that you've, achieved.
It's kind of like if you're trying to like rope someone onto the dance floor, and they're like, no, 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 no. Like you can't make somebody, like, even if they're doing it in a way like it looks like it's fun, it's more of a fear thing. You you can try to grab their arm, and that might, like, sometimes they just need someone to really be like, here, I'm looking at you, and do it. But I think the best thing you can do is just like be the change that you want to see. Like, if you want to see more people dancing out in public, like, why not be one of them? Like, what else are you gonna do when you hear music you like? Just sit there?
Well, what I'm leading up to, what I meant is, are there more people like me though, that don't want to dance? Do you get a lot of reactions like, hey, I just like what I saw. It was just,
I I don't know how much I believe you, man.
So you think I want to? You think I want to dance? Is that what you're saying?
Like, I'm not gonna do much work to convince you, like, but I think it's a very natural thing to want to like when you hear music you like. I mean, do you like music?
Oh yeah, well yeah, well, yeah, I'll move to the music, but I don't get up and dance. So yeah, if I hear a song like
Music is dancing. Doing this is dancing.
okay, so in any form.
This is dancing.
Okay, so I mean, in that way, then I guess technically, based on that interpretation, I would be a dancer then. So
Yeah, I think if you can talk, you can sing. If you can walk, you can dance. Even if you can't walk, you can dance. If you're in a wheelchair, you can do this.
yeah. And is the as far as like dancing, is there any other aspects that like you'd like to move on to as far as dancing is concerned? um are you looking to move on, and is there anything else like we haven't discussed yet? I know you talked about, I mean, do you think about maybe getting into work where you're helping other people? I know you're doing with the Zoom class, but it may be getting into a different kind of professional level, maybe being an instructor of some kind at a school. Is that something you've ever thought of?
I'd like to teach kids that don't really have the opportunity to take classes. Like, um, I'd like to find places where I can help out in that way. Um, I was gonna say earlier that with adding my voice to what I'm doing, a lot of the videos that I've made are to songs that aren't mine. They're fan videos, basically. Sometimes they are fan videos that are better than the actual official music video, but they're still fan videos. And I love making them, and I hope I can keep making them for as long as I want. At the same time, I want to really have the whole project be, I want to be a, since I've been like 12, what I've wanted to be is a music artist. And people kind of like were giving me accolades for my dancing, so I kept doing that as well as my acting. But truth be told, being a music artist is what I've wanted from as early on as that. And it's like a whole different world in a lot of ways. Like, I know how to record videos and stuff, but I don't know as much about recording and editing audio like efficiently. And there are some videos you can see where I am singing on them, and people be like, "Oh, that's great," but it's still like I'm nervous about releasing that. And I hope that if you like join my my journey of this party of being more free and having more expression, if you follow my work, that I hope that you're going to see me transition from making these fan videos to the videos being what I am also singing and producing music to.
And these videos that you produce, are they all, well, some of them you said are not released yet, but the ones that are released, are they available on YouTube or at your YouTube channel? Your YouTube channel, your primary channel appears to be Jag1 Kitten, plus you have another one that has your name on it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the ones that are produced, are they all available on those channels, or are there other places where you can find them?
Pretty much there. I'll make videos that I'll just put on my Instagram as well. But yeah, the YouTube, Jag1 Kitten, and the Instagram are the main places.
And there's an Instagram link that I gave. You had given me earlier before we started this. Is that the link that leads to that?
That link is a hashtag that shows all these clips that are related to the Zoom class I teach.
Oh, right. Okay. So there's a link in the description below if people want to click on that. That'll take you. It's not going to take you to that. So okay.
But all those are posted from my Instagram, so you can find my account just by going to any of those clips.
Okay. And are you do you have anything that's in the immediate future that you're trying to release that you'd like to let everyone know about?
Well, but I think that we're going to keep it a secret for the people watching this.
Yes, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, that would be a nice surprise. I think the people would like to see that. Yeah, I will keep my mouth shut on that one.
I'll say this as like kind of a teaser. If anyone here has seen a Weird Al Yankovic parody video, then you're gonna really like what I'm making.
Can your videos be found? So it's Instagram and YouTube. Do you have any other places where they're being shown right now? Obviously the Girl Walk All Day movie itself, is on a separate website. But as far as anything else you've produced that you're trying to present right now, is there any other places where we can see them?
I think you've got all the links down. I don't know if I want to throw any more links at the people.
Okay.
It's a very stinky world we're in.
All right. And now, anything else you'd like to? I guess we can go ahead and wrap this up for this evening. Was there anything else you'd like to plug before we say goodbyes?
I think that's it. Again, if people want to come to my class, message me if you're having any questions about it. Um, it's a 90-minute class. I say it's a donation of $10. If you can't do that right now, I know things are really tough in the financial department for a lot of people. Just let me know. It's okay. Just come dance. I feel very like kumbaya right now. But the class is actually like really like energetic. Sometimes you'll see in the clips if you go to that Instagram link. Yeah, the YouTube show, which is also in those links. It's a lot of fun.
Now, as far as the dancing, is it comparable to what's in Girl Walk All Day, as far as what you see in the movie itself?
If you come to my class, you will be able to dance as if you are in Girl Walk All Day.
Okay. And this is you have men and women that are part of your class? Is it mostly women?
It's both.
Both? Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. Well, I appreciate you being on this evening. And I
appreciate you sharing my work to your people here. I know it's a shift from what you're normally doing, but I just talked about how I appreciate when people follow those kind of instincts.
Yeah, this is definitely a shift from the norm that people are in the comment sections. I've been reading these. There were no direct questions to you, otherwise I would have read them. But basically they were like confused as to why I wasn't playing Grand Theft Auto. So that was probably the most asked question in the comment section.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know what to say. Like, I hope I can fly a helicopter into all of you guys.
Are you you know about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? Are you a Grand Theft Auto fan of other games?
Of other games?
Grand Theft Auto, there's several of them. Are you a fan of the different Grand Theft Auto games that are available?
I just remember Vice City, and now I live in Miami, so that's pretty damn cool.
All right.
I'm more, I've got a virtual reality headset, and I play Beat Saber, which is a dance game. So most of my gaming experience is from watching my brothers play. They played a lot of Metal Gear Solid. I think PlayStation 2 is the best console. So
okay.
I'll leave it there.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, the video games of mine are not PlayStation. They're all well. There is one PlayStation. The vast majority of my videos are played on PC. So I'm not a console player. All right. Well, it's been nice. This has been a very nice conversation, and I'm glad you chose to participate in this. And if you could hang on before while we wrap everything up, while I end the broadcast. I hope everyone enjoyed what the conversation was about, and hopefully we'll be able to do this again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, people. See you again soon if you come watch more.